Alright, we're recording now. I'm talking to Sandra. Yeah. I'm talking to Sandra Pocha, Pena.
Yes.
About the mural at Plaza Santana. Now, the mural has become quite an interesting topic amongst the people that are aware of the mural. I'm actually kind of surprised about how many people don't know about the mural. But yeah, it's become quite a topic for various reasons. Number one, because people want to know about it. I mean, people have been saying it for a while now, like, hey, that wall should have a mural.
Yes.
It's a huge wall, and now it's been dubbed Plaza Santana. So ever since that, now people really want a mural there. The other side of the mural has been that people have been crying out against it, saying that it's another sign of gentrification. People have been saying like, oh well, it's just not. It's not really Santana because of the ties it has, in particular to that tie with Ryan Chase. So yeah, so this mural has a lot of different facets to it. So as I mentioned, there's the side where it's like, okay, cool, it's a community mural that's being, it's involving the community's input.
But it's not. That's the problem. There's a big chunk of the community that's not involved in it because of the way the project is set up. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Okay. I wouldn't have a problem if the Centro was. I mean, and honestly, I have to say, it's not like the Centro are my best friends. It's not like they return my calls. It's not like they're my buds and I have their back. I have their back because I think they do a lot of good work in the community, and because I know that they do a lot of fucking work with the community that is being displaced here.
To your knowledge,
they're a big.
To your knowledge, was the Centro ever invited to these talks that they've had at WCA?
So what? I mean, the Centro has made a public stance. They reached out and asked everyone, boycott Downtown Inc. They've made a very public stance. It's very clear where the Centro stands with anything having to do with the Chase family. It is very fucking clear, right? I don't have any questions about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, right? Is there any question? We all know. So, if you want the Centro involved, then you're not, and you want Mr. Chase involved, you need to proceed about it in a very delicate way. You don't go like, hey, Chase gave us this, and hey, but you're invited. You don't do that. You don't do that because that is disrespecting them. That's disrespecting their struggle. That's very dehumanizing, it's very humiliating. It would be to anybody. They don't have to be my best friends for me to understand and empathize that they're not going to go. I mean, it could be crass, Currently, it could have been a community mural. It could have been. And I think that from what I know about Workshop for Community Arts, although they're very invested in being part of the community, from what my experience has been of the Grain Project, they're very, very invested in what community is. They are. They really are. And so it seems very strange that they would just go, let's go to this Mr. Chase, and then announce it, and we got this, and oh, it's so great, it's his new baby. I wouldn't do that because I know people that I care about are tender. I might have done it differently. Like, for example, if I saw that opportunity and I said, I want the Centro, I really want this to be a community mural, and I know it will not be a community mural without the Centro and without Chase, and they fucking hate each other. Yeah. Okay, we know that. So then we would try to create a way.
What if they didn't want to? What if, hypothetically speaking, like you're saying, hypothetically, if you had the opportunity, what if they said, you know what, we don't want to deal with Chase? And Chase said, you know what, I don't want to deal with the Centro.
But you know what? It's about the approach. Just like that 7-year. No, but
right,
no,
but
you can't.
If you approach it as best you can.
No, because
they were to say, no, you know what, we don't want anything to do with them.
No, but
part of the process with community murals is creating conversation. And sometimes that takes the time it takes,
Right, you're right. We're here because there's a lot of different stories as to the origin of the mural, of how it happened, how it was obtained, the wall.
The wall is an issue.
How it was obtained, who's involved in the mural, was anybody excluded from the mural, or from participating in it. From what I've talked to the mural group, from what I've talked to them, I interviewed them on Friday. From what I've talked to them, though, they have reached out to the community with canvassing. Now, to what size, I don't know.
One time. I think the way people were approached was really bad. Unfortunately, but again, I don't think that's reflective of WCA, and I don't think that's reflective of the Grain Project, because everything else that they have done, like Cartonera, or the youth projects, like the Grain Project, the garden, they don't do things that way. Mm-hmm. Those two organizations, they don't. Oh, we're going to do this here. We're going to do this. They don't operate that way. Yeah, they're not like that, and that's why. How can two organizations just radically change, go so off kilter on this one project? That is, I truly feel that they're community organizations. I truly feel that. But what went so wrong here that it just spirals into this conflictive situation? Well, are there new people involved? Was the project? I don't know, because I asked.
Your main concern then is, more than anything, it sounds like to me, is the process.
Process and inclusivity, because this is a very key point in our city's history, where we really have some real cultural issues.
What are you going to be afraid that's going to be missing from the mural?
Everything. Right now, I have not gotten really any. I don't have any. How do you say? There's very little reassuring in the entire project from the time that they're planning to do this, which is when anybody that is a professional muralist, exterior painting on concrete, you don't paint after Labor Day. You don't, because of the moisture content of the air will ruin any kind of primer process that you've got. There's so many. You do not paint right. That's why Chicano Park, the nation's largest mural project, had to break. In early September, by early September they were done. They had to shut it all down until March, April of the following year. Any major mural project, we have a calendar time when we can do it. Right now is not the time when you paint a mural that you want to last for 20 or 50 years. You don't want. That's one thing.
But if they were to do it and pull it off, then
no, it's not. There's something called physics, and there's something called like the law, like the natural laws of gravity.
But
I'm just saying. I don't invent this shit, And you think that, does this group, do they have such incredible mural experience, or do you have such incredible mural experience that maybe it's going to work? Trumps the experience of 50 master muralists who have 30 years in muralism? Really? That's kind of telling me right there that you're not coming from a sound place.
There's so many walls in this city. If you want to do a community mural like the original proposal, there's so many walls you could do that, get some experience, come back. But also,
you want to do it your way?
But there needs to be a process.
Yes.
What's missing is what other visions could have applied for this wall that will now not be able to do anything because there's already a mural there. Because it was done unfairly, because it was done backwards deal-wise, because it was misrepresented. That's really what's at stake here. And I'll tell you what, one of the funders of this mural told us that the perception of Santa Ana's art is bad. And by funding a mural... Amateurish. And by funding a mural that is amateurish on a public wall, you are perpetuating the notion that native Santa Ana voice is amateurish.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's a really big problem. If we as artists and part of an arts organization and creative professionals in this community want to increase the reputation, the value, the vision, the respect for other artists, then we need to step back.
And for arts in our city.
And do this right. Because otherwise, someone's going to throw something on there, everyone's going to get out and applaud, and they're going to go, well, that's the best they can do. We're in trouble,
This is a showcase wall.
And other muralists, who's the guy?
Are you saying that you don't think they're going to do a good job?
I think that whatever they do, the question, if it goes forward, the question will always be, what could it have been if other muralists with perhaps more experience, perhaps more artistic vision or whatever, brought in, perhaps with a...
Or a true community vision.
Or really a bigger team, even a bigger team.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so the situation is, it seems like there's a lot of loose ends to stories, isn't there? Right? You would agree, right? There's a lot of different like tellings of the stories and stuff, because I've heard many stories. I've heard Ryan's side, I've heard Alicia's side, I've heard Adriana's side, I've heard Chilo's side, and I've heard Moises' side, and I've heard all of their sides in the same room, excluding Ryan. Ryan was never there, but I interviewed all of them, and I heard all their stories in the same room. My main thing is though, like the real interesting part of this story, or as to why it's developed into a real story for me, and not only just for the story of writing about it, not for just a purpose, but because myself, who is, you know, buddies and friends and associates with all of you guys, for the most part, all of you guys, and then to see what's happening and the different dynamics that's occurring, it's really nauseating. It's very nauseating, and it makes me fucking sick, to be honest with you. Just how much, and I'm not just referring to you guys, right? I'm talking to everybody, and everybody's just like, you know, not, I think, it really gets hard for me because I don't know who's being straightforward with me or not. I don't know who is. So it's been really difficult for me to try to get this one story. It's just one fucking wall. What did you expect to accomplish by the email you sent to the city council members, certain council people from the city?
The main thing I hope to achieve is the implementation of a process, of a public process.
For future walls or for this wall?
Ideally for all future walls, beginning with this one. Beginning with this one, ideally. So I think that, I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
In the letter to the city, you claimed that the wall was being turned over to inexperienced artists.
For muralism on concrete.
Yeah,
Yes.
Alicia said the same thing.
Alicia has experience with the mural.
Where?
Chilo has experience with the murals.
Where?
Ask them. They told me that they had.
But I told you.
Chilo has experience with the murals. I know he does over on Chestnut and Standard.
You know what?
He's done a community mural.
I asked you something. I didn't say ask.
Moises has done murals in U.S. and Mexico. He's done many murals.
Eric, you're not.
Kimberly Durant has actually also worked on murals. Okay, so are they still inexperienced? Are they inexperienced?
Yes, Eric, because this is a different situation. I won't know until I see people's resumes, because I fucking worked on a fucking mural here. Am I a fucking muralist?
Let me say,
but I am a mural expert.
They've worked on murals.
Let me ask you a question.
It's a different situation, because look, there's different kinds of murals.
So they're not inexperienced though.
No, it's a different situation, Eric. Because how does one person painting on one mural inside with no pay compare to someone who has been paid, you know, like an actual, that's their discipline.
Someone is a muralist who is not on the level of another muralist. That's true, but it's still nonetheless a muralist.
It's a special thing to paint outside. Interior murals in a Mexican restaurant are separate from exterior murals in full sun on concrete.
That is true.
Any muralist in the universe of professional muralism would understand that there is a difference.
But
a painting on paper,
they have experience.
it's not the same thing.
Let me answer something. Hold on.
And the other thing that I said is the other thing I said, Eric, Eric, I didn't finish what I was saying. No, that's not true.
Hold on.
They don't have experience.
Eric, I've worked on my car.
Yeah.
I have experience working on cars.
I've worked on my car.
I wouldn't get a job fixing cars.
No, but you have experience.
No, that doesn't count.
I wouldn't. If somebody brought me their car and wanted me to fix it, it would be a crime for me to fix it because I would look at it.
They've done murals. Some of them have these.
Eric, it's not true.
Okay.
Because I haven't finished. Because what I was trying to say, and you keep cutting into me. This is why I feel you already have an agenda. Is when I said when you ask them what their credentials are, I said ask them for their curriculum vitae. Ask them for their fucking artistic resume. I said ask them.
Maybe they don't have one.
No, Eric,
then they shouldn't
then you do not get a public 50-year wall with no credentials. Eric, you don't do that. You don't take it away from people that do have that to give it to people that don't. If they don't have a resume, that should be an indication that they're not at the level of doing a public wall that's going to be up there for 50 years. Think about it. I could say I'm a clown, but until I give you my clown resume,
You're not getting the best.
You are not, you shouldn't take it for my word.
People have always needed credentials to paint murals in the past, in the history of 1,000 years.
When it's a public wall,
years,
when it's a public, since we have had city-states, and this is a freaking the situation.
You don't need the credentials to do a mural.
I'm gonna go print something out.